where people are supported and receive the resources they need to improve their lives. And most importantly, a place where families are safe. Today is a great day for the City of Newport News and for my Southeast community. And with so much on the horizon, we're going to be celebrating like this for the next few years to come. So get ready for some great events. I hope I can count you all in. Now it's my pleasure to invite this dynamic lady who helped us so much. She was an integral part of CNI, Ms. Karen Wiles, who is our Executive Director of our Newport News Redevelopment and Housing Authority. Karen Wiles.
Good morning. It is really great to be here, and I'm so thrilled that you picked this fabulous day for this event. I mean, it doesn't get any nicer than this in Newport News. It really doesn't. Thank you, Tina, very much, and thank you so much for your energy and enthusiasm. I mean, it's like the cheerleader in her just never stops. She was a cheerleader, and more importantly, she is such a supporter of the Southeast community. She's such a friend to affordable housing and workforce housing, and thank you so much for all the work that you do. Also, I want to mention that Gary Hunter, who's here with he's the chair of the school board, but he also is a vice chair of the Redevelopment Housing Authority board, and I think he's the only board member here representing our board. So thank you, Gary, for wearing those two hats. Thank you so much. Weston has done a fine job of renovating this building. Sandra Powell, our community development director, and I have had a chance to tour the building during the rehab. They've done a first-class job, and this is quite a resource for our citizens here in the Southeast community. And I'm really glad that the Housing Authority was able to play a role in helping with the financing. We issued mortgage revenue bonds for the building, and we're very pleased with how this has turned out. It's been great working with Michael Packard. He is a true professional and really has a heart for the work that he does. Also, Weston picked a great local contractor to do the work, ACS, and I know I saw Ken Jolly here earlier, and he knows this building inside and out, and he's done a first-class job for Weston. This project is in the footprint of our Choice neighborhood. It's a 1 square mile area, and as you know, as our Vice Mayor just told you, Ben Carson was here last week to award that $30 million, and I think even more importantly, that $30 million is going to bring us over $275 million in leverage resources to continue the kind of work that Weston is doing here, and I'm so pleased that Weston also does a lot of support for their residents who live here, and that's going to mesh so well with our efforts in providing job opportunities for our families in the Southeast community, and job training. These kinds of programs are really critical to making a difference and real transformation of a community. This project is just next door to Lassiter Courts, a property that we've just converted under the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, and we're doing a lot of renovations there. You can see we just put the silt fence up there where the community facility is going, and it's just literally just about next door. And then also Ridley Circle is going to be the focal point of our transformation, and again, that is a close nearby neighbor. So all these efforts are going to just make a tremendous difference in the Southeast community over the next 5-7 years. So I want to give best wishes to all the families who live here and all the individuals who live here, because they have a much improved apartment to live in now. And I think everybody realizes that those are the folks who really benefit, and that's why we do this work. So at this time, I would like to ask Senator Mamie Locke to come to the podium, but I also want to thank her publicly for the many, many years of public service and dedication to the residents of the Virginia Peninsula.
Thank you, Karen, and the Weston Associates team for inviting me to speak here today. As someone who grew up in public housing, this kind of project is very important, and As a member of the General Laws and Technology Committee, which handles most of the housing issues in the Senate of Virginia, and as chair of the Virginia Housing Commission, I fully understand the importance of this project on the issue of decent and affordable housing. It is not just a necessity, but an absolute requirement for families as an essential prong on the pegs for impacting quality of life. Establishing homes like these here at Ivy Towers is about more than four walls. Homes are about stability, security, safety, and comfort. Access to safe, quality, affordable housing is one of the most powerful social determinants of health. When people live in good, safe homes, they live healthier, longer lives. When people don't have to invest a fortune in their housing, they can focus on spending money on the things that matter to support themselves and their families. They can hold jobs that allow them to invest in food, in clothing, in education, in their community. Ivy Towers is a refuge, a new chapter in the lives of the families who will now call this home. Again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here today to show your support for the families who will be here. I would now like to turn this over to Delegate Marcia Price, who represents the 95th District in the House of Delegates.
Thank you, Senator Locke, and I think I speak for everyone when I say how happy we are to see you here today, and to thank you for your leadership. She works on affordable housing, not just for her district, but all across the Commonwealth. And so with that, I would like to say good morning to all gathered here today for this special ribbon cutting. As many of you know, I am a fourth-generation resident of the southeast community of Newport News, and this has been an exciting month for our area, specifically for the zip code 23607. The landscape that I knew as a child my entire life has included the Ivy Tower, and it is changing. And I love seeing buildings like this one receive such an impressive and beautiful makeover. If we can, let's take a moment to turn and look at the beautiful outside of this building, but please also take time to enjoy the beautiful view. This is not always the picture that comes to mind when some think of this area, so I'm glad all of you are here today to see it and to celebrate what is going on in 23607. As the director of a nonprofit that is increasing civic involvement in our area, and as the delegate that represents this area, I know how important revitalization and redevelopment projects are. It's not just about the improved quality of life that residents will have. It is also about a renewed sense of pride. Our area has a lot of which to be proud. Historic significance, resilience, beauty, and hope for the future. But our biggest treasure is our people, from the residents that have lived here from before I was born to those just moving here. Between us, I think it's great to see the buildings finally coming up to par with the awesomeness of the residents that live in them. And it's especially exciting to celebrate projects that realize that progress does not have to mean push out, that all people deserve safe places to live, and to add to safety, accessibility, aesthetically pleasing, modernized, energy efficient, communal minded, and newly renovated. That is truly fantastic. We want to thank Weston Associates, our wonderful mayor and city manager and city leaders who got behind the project, and all those who had a hand in making today possible. And as these transformations continue in the 95th District, may the new Ivy Tower serve as a shining example of how respect and dignity can be a part of a housing business model, with developers, property managers, and residents working together to make Newport News even better. And now for our final speaker, I'd like to introduce Michael J. Packard of Weston Associates, who knew this was an investment worth making and stood behind his word. Mr. Packard.
like to thank all of you for coming here today. I have to be honest, many times throughout the over 2-year safari that we undertook to get this project underway, I was doubtful that we would ever get here. I desperately wanted it to happen. I felt a compulsion to get this project done. There were many people along the way that said to me, "What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? This deal is just too complicated. There's too much opposition. Let it go." But in the end, I couldn't do it. I couldn't turn my back on the people here. I came down to the property the first time. I toured it, and I was left with two impressions. One, there are wonderful people here. It's a wonderful neighborhood. And two, this building needed help. It needed a lot of help. It was old, it was tired, and it needed love. So I set about a plan to bring the change to this building. It was a bumpy ride, but there was a lot of people along the way that helped us get it done, and for that I'll be eternally grateful. And I know that there are a lot of people here that won't know the real heroes of who put this together. You know, I get the opportunity to stand in the limelight and let you know who I am, but there are so many people along the way that without them, it wouldn't have been possible. You know, I'd like to thank everybody that came here, especially the dignitaries behind me. They put their support into the project. And I also want to take this opportunity to say that, you know, we're very fortunate, I believe, as a company and myself as an individual to do the type of work that really brings meaningful change to people's lives. I do make a decent living at what I do, but honestly, and I shouldn't say this in case there's any investors around, I'd probably do it if I didn't make any money at it. As I said, there was a lot of legwork that went into getting this financing together. There was a lot of moving pieces. At times it felt like it was herding cats to get it done. And if you ever tried to herd cats, it's not easy. I have done, but that's a story for another day. And I think that, you know, I do want to thank everybody, but literally we would be here all day. But I think there are some people and some groups that need to be thanked. And, you know, there's a gentleman that works at Love Funding that actually we shared office space with for a while. And he was a big help to secure the HUD financing that we needed. Obviously, the City of Newport News and the Redevelopment and Housing Authority, our tax credit investors, which, for those of you who don't know what tax credits are, it's probably better that way. It's a convoluted, boring process. So, I'd also like to thank everybody, not only in the neighborhood, but in the building, and the contractors that worked on the project. This was not an easy job, and it seemed at times that it was never going to end, and that all we were doing was just aggravating people and upsetting their lives. But I hope that everybody felt the way I did. At the end of the tunnel there was a light, and it wasn't an oncoming locomotive. So I think, you know, we're very fortunate in that through all that hard work we delivered what I believe to be a beautiful building in a beautiful location. I don't want to get into too much detail about the building, but I'm extremely proud of the work that we've done. And Karen mentioned Ken Jolly from Associated Contracting, and he, I think, deserves a special recommendation and commendation, because not only did he have to deal with the tenants, but he had to deal with me, which it's not easy either, but he got the job done. And I think he did a wonderful job. I've been part of a lot of renovations, and considering what it looks like today compared to what it was a monstrous undertaking. And I'll wrap it up. It sounds like this thing might blow over. So again, just to echo all the sentiments of the speakers earlier today, you know, we're really happy to be part of this process. We're really happy to be, you know, the first process of a remarkable transformation in the neighborhood, and I'm really happy to be part of this community, and I'm happy to say that we're the owners and operators of this building. And as I said to the city council before they voted to approve it, these buildings are like my children. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is. And I take a lot of pride in the buildings. I take a lot of pride in the people who live there. And we're just really happy to be able to be here today. And I'd like to take this opportunity to ask the dignitaries behind me to come up and help me cut the ribbon.